Let me start off with two words. Made in America. Two words. Made in America.
Make even more noise for my band.
Hey, it's me. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Folks, what an incredible, and I don't mean this in a good way, but what an incredible week of SHTF. And today, no disappointment. Today has just been off the hook crazy. I've been waiting, dying to get here to the Prepared Mind studio down in the bunker where I'm safe, absolutely safe from getting the snot beat out of me. By random attackers. No, there are no random attacks. Oh, you just wait. But before I get to the juice, I'm going to give you some juice. You know how Fauci, well, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, right? Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with the Jim Jones juice. But, he's not responsible for anything. I want you to listen to this, and I want to thank Mr. T for putting this together for us. Welcome to Free for All Friday, folks. It's going to get nasty. Get your questions down below. We're going to go me, you. We're going to mix it up, have a hell of a time. But boy, I want to address a few topics. Let's start with this.
Was it a mistake in so many states and so many localities to see schools closed as long as they were?
Well, I don't want to use the word mistake.
Well, did we pay too high a price?
There will be deleterious collateral consequences. If you go back, and I ask anybody to go back over the number of times that I've said we've got to do everything we can to keep the schools open, no one plays that clip. They always come back and say Fauci was responsible for closing schools. I had nothing to do. The schools should be closed. I had nothing to do. The schools should be closed. I had nothing to do. The schools should be closed. Particularly in areas where there's community spread, the schools should be closed.
Is there any doubt in your mind about whether or not Fauci had anything to do with anything? Is he responsible? Is he claiming because he's not the president or he's not the vice president that he's not responsible? He told America the schools should be closed. He told the world the schools should be closed. He lied to everyone again. It's not flip-flopping. It's not the evolution of science. He's a lying piece of hypocritical shit. And I don't have to prove it, right? You can't say, well, prove it, John. It just did. We just did. Thank you, Mr. T, for getting that out. And now, we can revisit that all you want in the questions. If you are here live on the Pelosi beatdown, what the fuck Friday free for all, you get to ask questions and you get to join the show. And if you're here every day, right here, subscribe star, preparedmind.club, you can come in. $2 for a month to support us on the premium side. $2, folks. Supports us, right? Uman puts his precious time in. Jolene puts her precious time in. Kaz Vaughn. So many people. Mr. T. Mr. Skylight, everyone out there putting their precious time, research, and even money into this show to keep it on the air, to keep fighting YouTube and fighting social media to make sure we're here to bring you the facts and a little bit of satire. Now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to crack the eggs and make the big enchilada, right? Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, was attacked today at their house. Someone broke into their house and beat the ever-loving shit out of Paul Pelosi, husband of Nancy Pelosi. Right? A source from inside claimed the attacker screamed, "Wait, where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" Right? He was severely beaten with a hammer to his head and his body. What an incredible story. So, having read that, I'm going to stop right there. We need to back up. Now, I have said I am all about peace, and I don't glamorize or glorify violence, nor recommend or insist or even hint that acts of violence should be committed. Anything harmful or dangerous should be done. I do not violate terms of service. I don't pass the community guidelines threshold and violate that. But I want to tell you folks, right now, should I feel bad about this? Let's address this up front so that anything I say from here on out is clearly understood. Clearly understood. The nice, peace-loving guy that I am says, geez, I don't think anybody should have the ever-loving shit beat out of them. Right? It's not nice to do that. You shouldn't commit acts of violence on people. Right? The Christian John says, no, we don't do that to other people. It's just not nice. Okay? I've got that out of the way. Now I want to talk about who the Pelosi's are. I want to talk about who the Pelosi's are. Christine Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi's daughter. She celebrated, she cheered on, she laughed about, she had a good time when Senator Rand Paul was attacked and hospitalized. Wasn't he hospitalized? Help me out. What was Senator Rand Paul hospitalized when his ridiculous neighbor attacked him? And Christine Pelosi thought it was just great. They will tell you it's not nice. We shouldn't laugh. It's not a good thing. This is dangerous. It's outrageous for a politician to be attacked. They're going to play that game. They're going to play that card. I'm not falling for it. These fucking people are lying pieces of shit and hypocrites. Don't let them stop you from wishing that they get the very best treatment that they deserve, that they earn, that they wish on others. Once again, I'm a nice guy, but look at who these people are. Who are the Pelosi's, folks? Do you think for a second that Nancy Pelosi, right, hasn't made millions from her power in Washington, D.C., flying around the world, cutting deals, her husband making millions and millions and millions and millions on insider trading deals? Oh, no, that's just fine. Okay, well, that's just money. That's just selling the country out. That's just enriching herself with her position of power. Let's take a little deeper look at the Pelosi's and who they are as people. Nancy Pelosi, allegedly related to mafia. Not surprised. Allegedly. What does the mafia do to people that they don't like? What do the Clintons do to people they don't like? Seth Rich. Seth Rich. Oh, Seth Rich. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. Let me finish with the Pelosi's. Let me finish with them. What would they do to you if you crossed them? Do you think that laws, that decency, that morality would stop Nancy Pelosi from having you crushed under her heel if you crossed her? Yeah, I'm not saying she would do anything violent. Oh, no. But what would she do? Would she make sure you have an accident? Would she go out of her way if someone made enemies with her to have them silenced, have them canceled, have them fired, have their bank accounts frozen, have the IRS stick a snorkel all the way up your posterior and check things out? You bet, folks. What kind of person are the Pelosis? Let's see, Paul Pelosi, drunk off his ass, causes an accident. No problem. Charges, nothing. Geez, I wonder how he got away with that. Who are the Pelosis, folks? Is Nancy Pelosi a towering example of graciousness? Not a fucking chance. That is one ungracious woman. Remember her clap at Trump? Oh, that's great, Mr. President. And she tore up the State of the Union speech, which I believe was a crime because it's a federal document signed by the president. No worries there, not a bit. Nancy Pelosi, how many babies, right, could have been saved if Nancy was a moral, decent Christian? But no, Nancy and the Democrats are all for abortion. There is nothing moral and decent about what they are for. Whether it's money, power and politics, morality, human life, law and order, justice, that is exactly the opposite of what Nancy and her husband are all about. Understand that when I talk about them and how this just seems a just poetic justice, but it will get better. I'm not going to let up till I'm done talking about the Pelosis, and then it's your turn. So Jolene, I'm sure, is going to put up the juiciest, best question comment coming out of the box when I'm done with these frickin' Pelosis. Right? When I heard about this first thing, the first thing I thought is this is a Pelosi Jussie Smollett moment. Right? This was faked. This is some ruse to get sympathy for the Pelosis and to get sympathy for the Democrat Party and to somehow frame the Republicans as right-wing extremists. He was severely beaten with a hammer to his head and his body. Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Allegedly, the attacker screamed. Is it wrong to laugh? Is it wrong to say you earned it? Is it wrong to say, hey, karma comes around, bitches? Is it wrong to say that? Is it wrong to think that when it comes to someone like the frickin' Pelosis? Or any of these Democrats like Swallowswell who threatened America with what? Nuclear bombs. Yeah, we got the nukes, says Swallowswell, who slept with Fang Fang, Chinese spy, and he's still in power. There's no morality in the Democrat Party, especially under Nancy Pelosi. I mean, who else is wishing ill? Oh, that's right, Beto. And the other jackasses who say, don't give me that constitutional shit. We're done with the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is what is keeping tyrants like them from screwing us over and sending cops into our homes, people who will take a paycheck to screw you out of your rights, your property, and your life. Right? There's a lot of good cops, and there's a lot of shitty ones. There's a lot of good Germans in World War II, but we remember the bad ones as Nazis, the SS, the Gestapo, who had concentration camps, who murdered people. Who wants concentration camps in America? Who wants the gulag? It ain't such a bad deal. Right? The Democrats. Little Katie Couric says we need re-education camps for right-wing Republicans because they're so violent and extremist. That's right, violent extremists. Oh, yeah, I remember this clown.
Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people. These folks are evil.
And all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
This means war.
This means war. We're evil. We're the bad ones? I don't think so. Joe Biden says we're evil. The mainstream media says we're evil. I don't think so. I just don't think so. BLM, Antifa, left wing. Summer of Love, left wing. Billions of dollars in damage. Kamala Harris, oh yeah. You were bailing out criminals and encouraging them to continue. The FBI, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office calls American parents domestic terrorists because they want their children protected from groomers. They want their children protected from pornography. They want their children protected from the LGBTQ agenda in schools. They want their children protected from critical race theory, which teaches their children to hate their parents, hate themselves, hate their country, and hate white people. Unbelievable. I'll take the Rodney King move on this. Can't we all just get along? Not with Democrats. Not with Democrats, folks. So this attacker, the man who attacked the Pelosi's today, well, his name is out there, folks. And guess where he is from? Berkeley, California. Oh, Berkeley. I've heard of Berkeley. Isn't that where all the right-wing, violent extremist, militia, white supremacist Nazis are from? Berkeley? No. Berkeley is the birth of hippie stuff, hippie shit. The Haight-Ashbury district. It's not H-A-T-E, folks. It's H-I-G-H-T. Haight-Ashbury. That's Hippieville. That is La Lunatic Central in the Bay Area. Cal Berkeley College is in that area. Berkeley is the spot, the birthplace of hippiness, left-wing peace, love, man. What are the peace, love people doing today? Oh, they were in their 20s then. Now they're in their 70s. What do they want? They want war. They want destruction. They want to enrich themselves. They want to destroy free speech, the Second Amendment, your rights, our Constitution, the law, and all of America. Oh, I'm on a horse today. This Pelosi thing, folks, they want to claim, well, it's a right-wing person. I'll tell you what. You know what's wrong with these Democrats? Like Pelosi? What is she doing? She's enriching herself. She's demanding war, along with the rest of the Democrats. She is, folks, apart from the president and vice president, she is the most powerful and been in power the longest as Speaker of the House of all Democrats. Some could say that she is more powerful than the president and that she controls the entire Democrat caucus. Incredibly powerful and hate-filled Nancy Pelosi is. I don't hate the Pelosis, folks. I don't have to. Their own people hate them. Know why? Because they're fascists. Fascists are authoritarian, totalitarian, socialists, just like the Nazis were. What is a fascist? They want government to work with corporations to empower and enrich one another. Yeah, that's socialism, folks. But the rest of the Democrat Party, the Democrat Party is fascist. The Democrat people out there are communists. Peace, love, man. And then they look at their leadership and they're off their rocker. enriching themselves, screwing the people over, taking us to war, destroying the economy, cutting gas production, fuel, oil, energy. They're screwing up the entire system, inflation off the hook, threatening to feed us bugs. Do you think that the average Haight-Ashbury, Cal Berkeley hippie thinks Nancy Pelosi is on his side? No, folks. Communists do not like fascists, even though they are ugly sisters to one another. Fascism and communism are ugly socialist sisters. The average street Democrat is a communist. The average Washington, D.C. Democrat is a fascist. Period. Republicans, not rhinos, but Republicans are for freedom and liberty. And we're seeing that more and more. I know I've been going for 21 minutes now. I get it. I get it. There is so much going on with this story right here. So much going on. So I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's get to some of your questions. Jolene, who do we want to toss up on the board right out the gate? Who gets to be numero uno on this Pelosi beatdown, free-for-all? And Gary D says, maybe Nancy did it. You went there, huh? Do you think Nancy woke up, had one heck of a bender, drinking wine and maybe taking some prescription drugs? Maybe, just maybe she had spent the night with Prince Valium and woke up a little hazy. Maybe Paul brought one too many hookers home. Maybe Nancy lost her shit and went after him with a frying pan. I don't know. I don't know. East Texas Country Boy says possibly a Lorena Bobbitt style punishment for tarnishing her name with his drunken stunt. I'll tell you what, folks. Her name was already tarnished. Unbelievable. But it did draw a lot of attention to what Nancy's been doing, did it not? There was already some news out there about Paul Pelosi benefiting from Nancy's insider information. That Nancy gave Paul information about the way they were going to vote on a given bill that could benefit the military-industrial complex and certain companies within it, certain energy companies with the energy policy of the United States of America, certain technological companies like the ones that Nancy went to visit in Taiwan, risking, folks, risking war with China. Nothing came of it, but did China think that her little stunt was cute? No. And then Nancy, within a week of that, either before or after, I can't remember, took a little trip to Ukraine on a plane that you and I funded with our tax dollars. Took a trip to Ukraine. Why? Nancy can't declare war. Nancy can't do anything for Ukraine. All she is the Speaker of the House. What's she doing in Ukraine? If not feathering her nest a little more. Yeah, it could have been a little Lorena Bobbitt action for Paul Pelosi. I mean, I can't imagine looking at the train wreck known as Nancy and ever thinking of getting a little wood. In fact, I think she is a wood killer. What a week. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I'm going to jump in and handle a little bit of story here myself. Get your questions into Jolene. I want to know what you're thinking about. I know this Pelosi thing is huge. I know it is. I know it's huge, but there's a lot to unpack before the weekend. And I will be back for Sunday Night Live. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have a zoo, folks. More is going to come out on this Pelosi story and other stories. Okay, Jolene, let's do another one. Let's stick with the crowd, see where you guys are at. Heidi checks in and says, maybe Pelosi was already hammered and skewered himself on the neighbor's Halloween scarecrow. You know, here we go. Maybe Paul Pelosi was by hammered. Heidi's, I don't know, maybe she's making a joke about he was beaten with a hammer. But maybe he was hammered drunk, right? And maybe he thought someone's Halloween scarecrow or maybe a Halloween witch out in the yard, in the neighbor's yard. Maybe he thought it looked a lot like Nancy. Maybe he went to put the moves on it. Maybe Nancy thought he was cheating by trying to bed down some other bedraggled looking witch. Unbelievable. Thank you, Heidi. Unbelievable, folks. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. What happens if one of these Haight-Ashbury left-wing lunatics breaks through your door? I guess he tried tying Paul up. I can't imagine he put up much of a fight with a bottle in it. What are you going to do about it? Right? Bottle in his hand. Well, he ended up getting the shit beat out of him with a hammer. All right, Jolene, let's see what Uman was talking about there. This ponderous what's going on. Uman says, hard to feel bad for someone that reaps the results of the policies and ideologies they have sown. The old reap what you have sown. I don't feel bad. Not as soon as I go through the litany of things that they're all about. The litany of things that Nancy and the Democrats would do to you. Laughing at our misfortune. Putting us in misfortune with their policies. Lovers of abortion. How unchristian can you be to support that? And then claiming she's a good Catholic. Yeah, right. Same with Biden. These people would bury you in a second. They would have no problem, folks, in my opinion. I can guess it. No problem for the Pelosi's to go, you know what? I don't like that person. Off with their heads. Like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. You bet that bitch runs around the house with a scepter. Her wine scepter. Off with their heads! Unbelievable. Yeah. They are reaping what they sow. Anger, division, hatred, malice, greed, envy, sloth. Name your deadly sin, and you will find the Pelosi's high on the list. Woo! I tell you what, folks, I'm wearing the red shirt because this is a red alert. A red alert because of the repercussions. What will the Department of Justice do? What will the Attorney General say? What will the FBI say about this? It's big news. It's too huge to sweep under the rug. So what will they do? Who will they blame? Right-wing radical Republicans are violent extremists, right? Violent extremists. I've never met anyone more violent than the right-wing MAGA.
Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
Yeah, the attacker who lives in Berkeley is a Republican, I bet. We need to crack down on these right-wing Republicans. Okay, Jolene. We got Gary D with a question. He says, I saw a story about Paul Pelosi being beaten in a home invasion. I smell a fake. So close to the midterms. I'm sure Make America Great Again will be blamed. Thoughts? Yeah, I tell you, Gary, they would love to blame us, even if it's not true. How many times have we seen a mass shooter? How many times have we seen violence on the streets? Racist actions, and they try and blame white people, right? Asians are getting beat up, Asian Americans being beaten up, and they're like, that's white supremacy. And it's not. They want to blame Make America Great. They want to blame America First. They used to blame militias, folks. They used to blame the Oath Keepers. They used to blame all these groups. Now it's just Make America Great. It's because that is their biggest enemy. Folks, militias, small, right? Oath Keepers, small, compared to the surge in people taking action, this surge in people joining and fighting politically and going to rallies and supporting financially. Everything, folks. Everything that is Republican because of what the Democrats are doing. So they would love to pin this, folks, and say, oh, let's make America great again. They would love to say that. Right? They even told us, well, that killer over there was a Republican. Look at his posts. Right? Turns out they're socialists, they're communists. They've got Antifa flags on their social media. What about the idiots that the FBI framed for the kidnap Gretchen, the governor, Whitmore of Michigan? Remember that plot to kidnap her during the lockdown? Well, because she's a crazy lunatic bitch. But that was a frame job that the FBI botched. Turns out that the agents on that were a bunch of criminal dupes themselves. Unbelievable. Laughable. They tried saying that was a right-wing extremist group when it wasn't. Oh, they would pin anything, folks, anything they can on right-wing extremism. They'll try it on this if they can get away with it. If they can concoct enough information, they will. If they need to lie about it, manufacture it, why not? What? Look, I don't listen to the mainstream media as if they are an authority. I don't listen to mainstream radio. I don't listen to mainstream newspapers. None of them. They will never convince me they're on my side, that they love truth, that they are about freedom of speech, and that they think the Constitution ought to be obeyed. So I won't listen to a fucking word they say, but who does? Folks, every day, mainstream media, their believability, trust, acceptance is going down, even among Democrats. Their viewers are going lower and lower and lower. CNN firing people, right? Social media, like, apart from Twitter, you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got Meta, you've got social media shit canning employees, making cuts because no one gives a shit about them. They're losing money. They're losing their asses. And then there's Twitter. We might be getting back to Twitter. Right? These people, folks, they are dastardly. They are bad. They are evil. Oh, John, you're being a little rough there. Oh, I mean, the poor old guy got his head and his body beat. I wonder how many people he's run over while he's drunk. And he didn't even know he was drunk and didn't even know he ran over someone. Didn't stop. I don't know. Hey, I don't know if he's ever run anyone over. I just know that he ran into Jesus in California, Jesus, and made it to the news that way. But I want you to remember this. Seth Rich. No one ever heard of Seth Rich. No one ever heard of Seth Rich until he was killed. The FBI denied they had any information on it. Now, the FBI has come out and said, we want to wait 66 years before releasing our information on the Seth Rich murder. You're going to say that Seth Rich made enemies with, well, a certain witch in the Democrat Party? That was years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. Seth Rich killed. I expect nothing less from the FBI, folks. Hey, FBI, what are you hiding from us, the sovereign people, that you want 66 years? How many years have they had since the JFK assassination? And the CIA and FBI won't give us information on that either. Folks, these people are ruthless. They'll kill their own people. They'll kill their own bodyguards, their own lawyers. Remember Vince Foster? The highest American politician to be killed since JFK. Yeah, shot himself in the back of the head twice. That's how good he was, folks. Not once, but twice. And don't forget that nice picture of Vince Foster with his hand over Hillary's derriere. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on, folks. I don't trust these Democrats. And I mean, that was over 25 years ago, Vince Foster. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These hypocrites in the Democrat Party. These hypocrites in the world of left-wing lunacy. Friday free-for-all. Jolene, who do we want to pop up next? We got doing stuff with Nikki. She says, yeah, gross. Ain't no wood in that shed. Speaking of Pelosi, well, I tell you what, not that I want to find out the hard way if I was sharing a prison cell with him, but look out. Now, speaking of sharing a prison cell with someone, let's talk about Ilhan Omar. That's right. I'm talking about the hypocrite, the flip-flopping liar, and piece of shit brother lover herself. She had a meltdown at a town hall meeting because the crowd called her a warmonger. That's right. The brother lover herself, Ilhan Omar. That's right. She married her brother. Am I wrong? Is that just satire? Or am I right? I tell you what, these people are sick in the head. They will abuse the system. They will lie, cheat, and steal, just like that Democrat told us back in 2020 prior to the election. I believe he was a member of the Democrat leadership in the state of Colorado, a dangerous leftist Marxist leader. Yeah, we're going to lie, cheat, and steal. Lie, cheat, and steal. There you have it. Anyways, Ilhan Omar. She makes anti-Semitic, anti-Israel comments all the time. And she's allowed to get away with it. Whereas Kanye West, don't you dare, you awful black man, say anything. Since you're a Republican. Anyways, Ilhan Omar, member of the Jihad Squad, warns anti-war protesters are now, quote, dangerous propagandists. Dangerous propagandists. Anyone who is an anti-war protester. Well, that was the Democrats from the 1960s and 1970s. So who the fuck is she talking about? Anti-war protesters. Well, I'm anti-war, right? Despite this, right? I don't want war, but if it happens, it gets taken care of. But I don't want war, especially when it's just to enrich a bunch of corrupt politicians and industry leaders. But she called anyone who doesn't believe her a dangerous propagandist. Let's look at that. What is a propagandist? That is someone who produces media content, written, oral, television, right? Internet. A propagandist is someone who has information. And if someone doesn't like it, they're going to call it propaganda because it is trying to persuade someone to believe something in one direction or another. So not only is she calling them propagandists, but she's saying they're dangerous. The flip-flopping piece of shit liar, Ilhan Omar, who she and her group of 30 Democrats told President Obama, President Biden, right? They demanded that they not support war and support Ukraine anymore against Russia because it was bad. It was war. It was warmongering. Well, she flip-flopped. They took back, officially rescinded their demand that no more support for war be done. So the crowd calls her a warmonger, and then she turns on them and says, you're a bunch of dangerous propagandists. How can you believe anything these Democrats say? How can you follow them when they demand, right, that you turn left, and then they turn right, and they go, no, we said turn right. Go straight ahead, back up, stop, forward, up, down, left, right. And Democrat followers, they try and follow it. They're like, war sucks, war sucks, war sucks. And they'll say it. But then behind them, their leadership is over here going, we want war. And then all the Democrats are out there going, war sucks. They're like, oh, shit, we're supposed to be saying war. War is good because Ilhan Omar says so. And then I'm sure next week Ilhan will change her mind. And they'll be like, why is she saying that? I mean, can you imagine the phone call that the Jihad Squad got? Hello, Jihad Squad. Yes. Why don't we do a wrap-up thing? Get Rashid Tlaib or whatever the hell her name is and get AOC. Tell her to drop the apple out of her mouth and stop chomping on carrots and shit while we talk. Right? Okay, you got that, Ilhan? Get your hand out of your brother's pants. Good. Now I want you girls and the rest of those idiots to pay attention. War is good business. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? We've given you fruitcakes a lot of power. We've let you run in front of the media and say the most outlandish, unbelievable, hypocritical shit on the planet. And we've let you get away with it. But we're not going to allow you to take the press, the media, and come after us, the Democrat Party. You understand that? Make myself clear? Need I say the name Seth Rich a little louder for you? You get what I'm saying to you? Right? You want some jihad? You keep messing with the Democrat Party. Yeah, our paymasters, they keep your country, Ilhan, afloat. You want to see those debt-free, duty-free loans that you don't pay back in your country? You want those to stop? Is that what you're saying? Now listen, when we say, you say no to Israel, that's when you say it. And when we say we love Israel, that's when you turn around and you change your mind. Don't worry about the average Democrat. The average Democrat will do whatever you say. They don't care. You could change your views. Listen to me. Shut up there, horseface. Listen to me, Ilhan. Your followers will change their mind as quickly as you do. You change your mind as quickly as we tell you to. You got that, ladies? Let me hear it. Very good. Now we're all playing by the same Democrat song. It ain't about your rights, honey. You got that? Yeah. Believe me, hashtag me too, that doesn't matter. That's just a prop. It's a joke. It's a scam. It's propaganda. It's dangerous propaganda, but it works for you when we want it to, right? Remember, propaganda can work against you too. We can have you replaced. We can. You bet. There's a lot of people that can replace you girls. You aren't that convincing on your own. No. Yes, we understand that. All right. You have a great day and resume being idiots. Just mind your P's and Q's. Bye-bye, Ilhan. Bye-bye, AOC. Bye-bye, Rashida. And the rest of you clowns, pay attention to your email. We'll give you all the talking points that you need to worry about. That's right. We'll get your sound bites on TV, but just make sure your sound bites come from our sound bites. Hasta la vista. Hasta luego. Hasta del domingo. Bam. You want satire? I'll give you satire. All right. Jolene, it is Friday. I've had enough. But it ain't over yet. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It is Christine Bihana. She says, I knew it, you knew it, we all knew it way back then, yet we didn't trust our knowledge and instincts. We did nothing, we let it roll. Our minds could not 100% believe what our eyes and ears see and hear. We did not trust our reality to act. We still don't. I don't know what else to say. What particular topic are we discussing, Christine? Are we talking about Dr. Fauci? Are we talking about cerveza bug? Are we talking about the Jim Jones juice? Are we talking about the Democrat Party? Are we talking about the Clintons? Are we talking about Obama? Are we talking about Biden? I just need some help so I can follow your line of thinking, because it sounds like that line of thinking went all the way back to the very beginning as a lot of things have played out. Now, in general, I will agree with you. All of it. All of it. All of it. Yes, all of it. Since the Clintons, since George H.W. Bush was president, 88 to 92, at that zone, things have gotten out of hand. Since the New World Order, 1,000 points of light, since that it has gotten more and more unbelievable. As soon as I heard that Slick Willie, folks, that's the nickname that Governor Bill Clinton had, Slick Willie. When I heard he was running for president, old Slick Willie, I knew we were in for one hell of a ride. Professional sellout liars backed by the most powerful money on the planet. We have been treated to a greater and greater and bigger and more fantastic politicized shit show. And it was running smoothly for them. It ran smoothly from George H.W. Bush to the Clintons, to George W. Bush, to Obama. Where was he born? Where was he raised? Who is Michelle Obama? Who is Michael Obama? Is it Michael? Who are these people? And then we saw things really get wild when Trump stepped into the White House and the left lost their shit. And we saw the media not just go, you stinking Republicans. They lost their shit. Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, was invented. Left-wing lunatics literally crying, tears flowing. And I thought, why? Because Hillary lost? No one loved Hillary that much. It's almost as if all the Democrats know there's this agenda to destroy America, to destroy the Constitution. And Trump kind of ruined that, right? As much as we had a 4-year Trump presidency, we saw the country take a dramatic turn. Not the country, but the powers that be in the country. Political, military. That's right, the military folks under Trump kept showing us that they could betray as much as anyone else. The media, the Rhino Republicans stepped up like you can't believe. That's right, Kevin McCarthy, California, leader of the House Republicans. That's right, Turtles Mitch McConnell, leader of the Senate Republicans. All for the impeachment of Trump. All for demanding he step down. All for demanding he get out of the way, resign, leave the White House. It's not even about party politics. It's about the agenda. It's about, who emerged? That's right, folks, the World Economic Forum, the Davos gang from Davos, Switzerland, right? The latest incarnation of the Bilderberg power groups. The banking cartel has failed. Their system has failed. Fiat currency has crashed. Unbelievable what is going on. And it's not over. Now we've got Biden, the most incredible, inept dunderhead. Right? Can't just, even with the teleprompter, he can't put together a sentence. He can't find his way on stage or off stage. Jill Biden is now barking. Dr. Jill, not a medical doctor, but Dr. Jill gets to yell at him like she's Nurse Ratched. Unbelievable, folks. World leaders laugh at him. He's being openly mocked by Mohammed bin Salman, right? MBS of Saudi Arabia. Divide and conquer. They're dividing the world up, folks. If you don't go along to get along with Joe Biden and Europe and NATO and the World Economic Forum, then they will divide you and split you off. And look what's happening. We have a bifurcated world instead of a global environment. Cold War, nuclear war, they're all for it now. Remember when Democrats were peace, love, and hippies? Now Democrats are like, we have nukes and we will use them whether we are attacked with nukes or not. And whether you're a nuclear power or not, we don't care. We're going to attack you with nukes. That just happened this week. What the fuck is going on? It's just becoming that much more. And it is, Christine, hard to believe your eyes, is it not? It's hard to believe your eyes and ears, but we know deep inside what's going on. We know. I know what's happening right now. Right? They're trying to take us all down and destroy the Constitution. They're trying to destroy our rights. They're trying to get us to submit and quit and give up. Unbelievable. It truly is. I mean, there are people fighting back. I mean, get this right here. Down in Florida, the Board of Medicine Committee, they voted to ban minors who have gender dysphoria from receiving puberty blockers and sex reassignment surgery. Right? Rut-row government that wants law, decency, morality upheld, say it ain't so. Democrats internationally are triggered. They want this to happen. They want gender dysphoria. They want kids so jacked up between their ears that they don't know if they're coming or going. They don't know if they're going left, right, up, down, forward, or backwards. They don't care about these kids. They want to use them and destroy their morality, destroy the foundation. Our kids, folks, grow up under us, and they learn morality, decency, respect from their parents. And who is trying to steal that away? The schools. The schools want to convince them there are whatever gender you want to be. You can have whatever pronoun you want. You can change your name. You can do all these things. You don't have to obey decency, morality in the United States of America or anywhere. In fact, they want to destroy it. And they want to continue to tell these Democrats, go left, go right, go left, go right, go left, right. They don't know if they're coming or fucking going. They're just doing as they're told. Right, Ilhan? Oh, yeah. We have a mess on our hands. All right, Jolene, who wants to step up next? It is Big Country. And he said, question, has anyone asked about 25 days of diesel? I left, just jumped. Wait. 25 days of diesel, left, just jumped in, may have been discussed. The 25 days of diesel was brought up in the news about 3-4 days ago. I've heard it drop, the discussions of it have dropped down to 15 days now. 15 days of diesel left in the country. The problem is production capacity cannot keep up with demand. And demand isn't just for people with F-350s, turbo diesels, right? It is trains. That's right, train locomotives. It is ships, cargo ships. Diesel generators for buildings. I mean, diesel drives the world, literally. It is the transportation fuel. It is international. It is national. It is the working man's fuel, diesel. And apparently, we don't have enough capacity to supply ourselves. Whose fault could that be? Could it be Biden? Could it be the Democrat Party? Could it be Biden's masters who said, you know what, you're going to kill production. You're going to kill exploration. You're going to kill the Keystone Pipeline. You're going to kill it all, Joe. Do as we say. Don't worry. Oh, yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. Diesel fuel is essentially the same fuel as jet fuel. Airline jet fuel, right? Jet fuel, kerosene, right? It's just a lighter, cleaner version. It is still diesel fuel. It's essentially the same gravity or weight, viscosity, etc. Just a little cleaner for the jets. Not that they aren't low carbon, right? It's just a cleaner fuel, so it burns a little cleaner. Don't worry, though. They'll make sure that they have enough jet fuel for their own private fleet of jets. Don't worry about the Democrats there. They'll take care of themselves. Don't worry about the rich oligarchs. They'll take care of themselves. They'll make sure their yachts have plenty of diesel fuel for their diesel engines. They'll make sure they have plenty of diesel fuel or jet fuel for their jets. Don't worry, they'll make sure they have enough goods and services that are diesel power provided. They'll have trucks head to their homes, diesel trucks bringing what they need for their bunkers. Okay, enough on that. Let us move on if we shall. Who do we have next? We have East Texas Country Boy. He says, if Beto wins Texas. I got to stop you there, man. Beto O'Rourke is not going to become the next governor of Texas. But let us continue. If Beto wins Texas, I will take that as evidence that the country is over and doomed. Republicans will never win another race and will be living in the beginnings of the Hunger Games. We have several states, California, Texas, and Florida. California has forever and will forever be lost to lunatic leftism. Florida, on the other hand, since the Great Migration or the Great Exodus has started, the cerveza bug exodus, the COVID exodus of the North and liberal territories, Florida has become more and more Republican. So much so that this week it was announced that Democrat donors on the Democrat Party do not want to spend money on candidates inside Texas, and inside Florida. In fact, Governor DeSantis, Republican down there in Florida, guess what? He is going to more than likely win the heavy Democrat stronghold of Miami-Dade, which hasn't been done in what, decades? That's how many Republicans have moved down there. That's how pissed off the people are at the Democrat Party. I have a hard time believing that Texas has seen an influx of Democrats that would outnumber the influx of Republicans. Now, the media is going to lie. The media will push the Democrat hubs, right? San Antonio, right? Houston, any Democrat district in Texas is going to claim they have 5 million ballots for Joe and 5 million ballots for Beto, right? I think the people of the world have had enough. Hispanics, over and above, right, have said fuck you to the Democrats. The black communities are turning on the Democrats because they're finding out it's just more of the same, right? They want to keep everyone they can, whether you're white, Asian, black, whatever. They want to keep you on their plantation, right? As a house slave, as a field worker. That's what they want us to be, all of us, regardless of color. It has nothing to do with color. They want your mind enslaved and keep you on their plantation. All right, Jolene, who do we have next as we wind down this Free for All Friday with the Pelosi beatdown? It's Oregon Patriot with a new, look at this. That's a great, that's new from Oregon Patriot. Nice avatar, man. He says, people have no idea what's coming. I'm trying to wake them, but they all think it's midterm election propaganda. I guess you can only show them the water. You can't make them drink it. Everything depends on that fuel, meaning diesel. I've got 50 pounds each of flour, beans, and rice, and I still feel I need more. Here's a recommendation. Go to thepreparedmind.club and find our long-term food storage products. Folks, eggs, powdered eggs, butter. Make sure you've got lots of spices. Get freeze-dried cheese. Okay, just powdered freeze-dried cheese. Everything you can get if you can afford that type of stuff. I know that beans, rice, corn, wheat, stuff you can buy in bulk is great. You know, I love the Spam. I love the tuna fish. Meat in a can. Meat in a can, folks. It stores for years, even if it's not long-term food storage. Meat in a can. Because they're trying to kill the meat industry. They want to feed you soy garbage. Impossible Meat is soy garbage mixed with the excrement of yeast. That's right, genetically modified yeast. Or are they just evolved yeast, right? But their excrement is like cow blood. And they mix that yeast excrement into the soy to make it taste and smell like beef. No one wants to buy it, by the way. I've seen entire shelves in stores sold out of meat. And that one section full of impossible crap meat is still there, fully stocked. No one wants it. Well, they don't want you to have meat. So instead of that soy crap, now they're saying, guess what? You're going to get bugs. Beetle grubs, mealworms, crickets, cockroach milk. Powdered crickets. Okay, Jolene, what do we got next? I know we're at an hour, but it is Friday, and I wanna put it out there. What have we got left? Anyone have anything to say? Let's see what you have. It's that important. It really is. All right, we got Doc Holliday. He says, this Iowa proposed change to the Constitution may be exactly what the Second Amendment community has been waiting for. What do you think? I'll tell you what, I have not seen anything on Iowa because I have been inundated with Pelosi-ness. I've been inundated with whistleblowers. I've been inundated with Twitter news. Anything Second Amendment, I love, period. The rest of the world needs to understand that without the ability to defend ourselves, we can't defend our country against foreign and domestic enemies. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what's going on in Iowa. I know that they had some all around the country. It's crazy, folks. California, there's this coalition that is continuing to push to split off the Republican portions of the state of California and leave the Bay Area and Los Angeles to their own fucking devices. Make the rest of the state, thank you, Jolene, the rest of the state a Republican territory. Okay, what do we got, Jolene? Let's bring it on. Christine Viana says, just a thought. They say that a baby is not alive for whatever time they say, yet they find a cell somewhere in space and call it a life form. Okay, but yet a baby cell is not. Okay. What she's referring to is the space missions. NASA on the planet Mars, right? They kept finding compounds, organic compounds, right? You combine a couple of basic elements and they say, hey, that only happens when life is present. Life on cold, lifeless Mars. Life exists, or at least remnants of it or evidence of it. Same with asteroids or meteors or comets. They're like, hey, we found life. We found life. Life is throughout the universe. We need to explore. Give us more of your money. Yeah, it's about money. Give us more of your money. It's about money. Yet, a fetus, a zygote, even, if you will, is composed entirely of organic, life-generated cells that are, for all medical purposes, medical definitions, medical thoughts, they're alive. But they say that is not life, and it's not alive, it's not a living thing. But yeah, out in space, they find one compound that is organic in nature and results from the activity of living organisms, and they call that life. It's beyond hypocrisy. It's just more stupid. Now, we all know, or at least I think we should all know, and I want to wrap up the show with this. Elon Musk has now closed the deal on Twitter. Right? He fired the CEO. He fired the CFO. He fired the chief censor. That is the person who created the let's shut everyone else the fuck up because we don't want to hear their shit anymore. We want our story to be the only story that's heard. Elon Musk is promising to fire 75% of Twitter. Anyways, he says, quote, I will be digging in more today, Friday. Right? He's going to investigate the algorithm on shadow banned accounts and other issues. This is monumental, folks. The President of the United States and the federal government could not stop Elon Musk from buying Twitter. They threatened they would investigate. They threatened they would look into it. And they did nothing. Probably because they're too fucking stupid and or too busy trying to cover up what Hunter Biden has done and Nancy and Paul Pelosi have done and the Clintons have done and the FBI trying to cover their own tracks like a cat with 6 paws bearing 30 piles of cat shit in a sandbox. They're pretty busy already. And then we got this Twitter thing, huh? Right? Elon Musk. If he exposes the shadow banning of accounts, that is to say, the censorship and silencing of views they don't agree with, I can't wait for that to go public, folks. And never forget, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube have all been accused of the same thing. Right here, folks, on the Prepared Mind channel. We've been shadow banned. We've been censored. We've been silenced. We've been put in a corner. We expanded. We exploded in growth until a few years ago they decided to put a stop to it. There's too much attention being paid to people who are making perfect sense out of what is happening. So they silenced us. Whoosh, and kept us very small. Now, again, last year, I believe it was the month of August, we grew 10,000 from 70 to 82,000. And we have been stalled at 82,000 for the last 12 fucking months. How is that possible in a real world? That we could grow 12,000 in a month and then stalled again and not grown a bit, unless we're shadow banned and being held back and having people unsubscribed. Is that illegal? Is it prejudicial? Is it anti-First Amendment, anti-American? Yeah, it's all of those things. Folks, it is up to you and me to continue this fight, putting that internet address right up there, out for the world to find. There's people looking for answers. Some people have their head so far in the sand or so far up their ass, they'll never learn. You can't wake those people up. But a lot of people are waking up on their own, and all they need is a direction to go. And they'll find their way to this channel and others like it. Like on the rsyndicate.com. Ooman has all of those internet addresses out there. All of those websites teaching you how to get prepared. You know, all kinds of free information on self-defense, gardening, building a bunker, where to go, etc. All of those channels. Thanks, Jolene. All of that's out there. And all we have to do is help them find it by putting that out there. Thank you for supporting this channel, the Prepared Mind Network. No worries ever, Jolene. No worries. We've got it all, folks. We're trying to help wake up the world. And I can't do it without you guys. And we haven't been able to do it without you guys. So thank you yet again. And we'll say it. Chance favors the Prepared Mind is yours. Godspeed. Semper Fi. Get prepared.